If you're a business owner or entrepreneur, then you know how to hustle. You show up every day, you put in the work, and you dedicate yourself day in and day out to making that amazing dream come true. But building a brand doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, you just can't get past a certain block, fix a specific problem, or take that next step on a daunting project. How do you get yourself from where you are to where you want to be? That's when you ask Amanda. Hi, I'm Amanda Benson-Tilch of Ask Amanda, a boutique consulting firm driven by passion and good ideas. I help solve everyday problems for the small business owner, from customer service to marketing to goal setting. I've never met a client I wasn't able to help, because if I can't solve your problem myself, I'll connect you to the person who can. Are you ready to finally break through your toughest problems? Visit AskAmandaConsulting.com to see how I can help. Because if you ask me, you'll get a solution.
Welcome to the Ask Amanda Show, where we solve everyday problems for the small business owner. Get nuggets of inspiration, access to experts, and answers to those burning questions preventing you from growth. Here's your host, Amanda Benson-Tilch.
Welcome to the Ask Amanda Show. I am sitting here with a guest that I've been trying to get on here for a while now, and we've had some hiccups, but we're here today. Everyone, this is Chris Ingram. He is CEO and I guess one of the acting partners or active partners of Prosperitas Financial. We're going to talk a little bit more about him, but I want to say this is a really important episode for me, because I truly believe that a lot of my audience doesn't know that you actually need somebody like Chris. So I'm so happy that he's here. You actually just need Chris, but we can get into that in a second. I'm just very happy that you're here today. So I can't tell you enough. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today to be here.
Of course.
You know, this whole podcast is for small business owners. That is who my audience is. That is what I strive to help. And Chris is a big part of that. And I'm going to tell you why in one second. But as I mentioned, Chris comes from the financial planning aspect of, the universe. But in the small business world, I bet you a lot of you don't even have a financial planner. So let me tell you a little bit about Chris, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about how he can help you and why his presence here today is so important. So Chris started out in 1998 as an investment advisor representative, and he has built his entire career on the uncompromising commitment to provide financial advice and services, where his primary focus is helping clients achieve their goals and financial success. And I think that you started your own company. What year did you start this company?
2000. Well, so Prosperitas?
No, we'll go back. It's 2003.
So when I went independent, it was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the goal of starting that financial company?
Really to be able to focus more on the client and less on like corporate quotas and the things that needed to be done at the big firm, and to really hone in on what I wanted to provide to clients.
Okay. Yeah. So that's key, you guys, focus on the client. So then when did you start Prosperitas Financial?
Prosperitas, well, we went into development probably somewhere around 2018, 2019, and officially launched in 2020.
Started his business in 2020, you guys. Not a good year, but it has became incredible for you guys. So I don't butcher it, tell us what Prosperitas Financial is.
Yeah, so Prosperitas Financial is really bringing all the different specialists in the financial services world together under one roof, so that we can truly provide comprehensive financial planning to clients. Unfortunately, what happens a lot is you get the accountant, the insurance agent, the financial advisor, the investment advisor, all these people that are doing things for a client, but they're doing them in their own individual bubbles. And sometimes they don't communicate with one another, and things get lost in translation. And so the client isn't really getting a well-rounded, comprehensive financial plan. Right. So the whole idea of Prosperitas was to bring these specialists and these people in to one firm and be able to now do a financial plan for a client and put something down where we have all of the people that can provide their specialty and their knowledge to make sure that we have the right financial plan in place for that client.
So That's huge, and I hope that you guys really understood what that means. My husband and I were clients of Chris's, and there is so much confusion and so much responsibility, I feel like, in communicating to all of those other entities, if you will, and trying to map out what's best for you, because everybody has their own opinion. When you can sit under one umbrella, under one roof, in one office, and they're planning it out for you, it's just such a relief. It takes the responsibility off of you as the client,
Right.
And really understand what's happening to you in a loving, caring way that makes, a lot of sense for your life. And so it's incredibly smart what you have done.
Thank you.
Incredibly smart. I'm very proud of you.
Appreciate that.
So I want to tell you guys how I met Chris, because I think that that's also part of, a lot of who I am, and my connections and my resources are based on relationships. And I push that. If you follow me on social, I push that to you guys all the time. It's about building relationships. And we met way back when I worked at Hyatt, which was a long time ago. In a galaxy far away.
Yeah.
But still right here in Santa Cruz. But where I really became, I feel like, connected to you, and I really felt an incredible amount of respect for you, was when we were part of it was Business Connections, part of a networking group.
Mm-hmm.
Those networking groups are everybody gets up and does like a 30-minute, sometimes a 60-minute, 30-second or 60-second commercial about their business. He wouldn't really do that. What Chris would do is tell a testimonial about a client. So you would use your 30 seconds or your 60 seconds, and you would tell how you help serve a client. And every time it was in a different capacity, in a different way. And it struck me. And soon I became a client of yours because of that. Because I felt like just the way that he offers help, it's not transaction, it's relationship. And I think that's, you really get to know your clients, and you really understand what's the big picture for them.
Right. Well, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. That is one of the major themes that I try to really stress in the office. Because remember, I got a lot of people now that are working for the company, and some of them they may not see or fully understand the vision all the time, but the vision really comes down to what I say a lot, which is clients rarely walk through the front door and say, I want $5 million by this date. Clients walk through the door and they say, I want to retire someday. I want my kids to go to college. I want to buy my first home. I want to start up a business. I want to take my business to the next level. I want to leave a legacy for the next generation. They have goals. And so we have really made the whole business about understanding those goals, forming a relationship with the clients, really getting to know what it is that they want out of their life. Because at the end of the day, right, life is what? It's about being happy and enjoying your life and doing the things you want to do. And so we look at it from the financial side, but it's really just to try and put the pieces in place to help clients be able to achieve everything that they want and get everything that they want out of life. And that comes from really knowing the client, being a part of their lives, becoming their friend, forming a relationship and a connection, and truly understanding what their goals are.
So tell us what your specialty is under that umbrella.
Yeah, so myself, aside from being CEO and running the company and putting all the pieces in place, I am also one of the advisors at the company. And so we have several advisors within the company. And as the financial advisor, you're kind of the center of the relationship, the quarterback, the coach, the person that is forming the relationship with the client, understanding the client, really getting to know what they're trying to accomplish. And then you're quarterbacking and bringing in the other people that are important to that client. So you're bringing in the insurance agent if they need insurance. You're bringing in the college planner and the guidance counselor to make sure that their kids get into college. You're bringing in the estate planning attorney to make sure the estate planning attorney is putting the trust and the legal documents in place for that family. So as the advisor, you're really the hub of that relationship to make sure that you're understanding what the needs are, and then you're putting the right pieces in place in order to accomplish the goal. And then you continue really the relationship. You build that rapport with the client and stay in touch with them and update them and make sure that they stay on track and all of those fun things.
And you have help. I know that's what you do, but you have a really great team that helps you as well.
My team is amazing. I love my team.
I can vouch for that.
We've done a great job of that.
I'm very impressed by the and thankful for the communications that they provide. You know, like if we've got questions and stuff, like I was confused on a few things, and Katie jumps right in, or like you just have a good team. So
We do.
I think that, I have an episode on teamwork, you guys. Go back and watch it. It's very good to surround yourself with other people that believe in what you're doing, and I feel like you've found that. I absolutely love this concept of the all-in, kind of like all-encompassing, that you've created at Prosperitas Financial, because it's very hard to people can refer people to you all the time, but who do you trust? And for you to have the people that you trust under your umbrella, that you've brought into your team, that can help guide your specific client, I just feel is I don't know, makes it so easy. It makes it ease. I instantly trust you that you are going to connect us, to the right people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think
appreciate
it's,
that.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, you could pull that clip out and use it as a testimonial later for
Thank
your
you.
marketing.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, that's important, right? We're all busy.
Yeah.
We're business
Yes.
owners. We're doing our own thing. We have our families. We have our
Yeah.
kids. We have stuff going on in our life that we really need to be able to offload certain responsibilities to other
Exactly
people
right.
that you can trust, that are going to take care of it for you, that you're not going to have to micromanage, you're not going to have to get involved all the time, that are explaining to you what's going on, why it's happening, why it's the best thing for you. But they're really taking that responsibility off of you, so you can go focus on the things that you want to do. Spend time with your family, go build your business, do the
Yeah.
things that you want to do, and not have to worry about it.
Well, and also just let's touch base on that. So let's kind of dive into how you help small business owners. But that does speak volume, and I preach that a lot. Is that as a small business owner, whatever your trade is, you don't know all the other things. You don't know marketing. You don't know financial planning. You don't know about insurance. You don't know bookkeeping probably. So you need to hire these other experts and have them part of your team without having them on your payroll.
Right.
Right. So so I know that that's one of the things that you help with the small business owners as well, or just business owners, is trying to connect them and guide them, relieving them of that responsibility, I guess. Right.
Yeah. Building their team.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have this team in place. I can't tell you how many business owners I've met and worked with that, they'll say, well, I don't need the attorney. I just go and do it online. And it sounds great until they get sued, or it doesn't work out, or they realize that they're spending so much time dealing with these little things that they're not focused on the more important things, which is building the business and
What they're
growing
good
the
at.
business, doing what they're,
Right.
exactly. And so they're trying to wear too many hats. And they don't know how to build the right team. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to help them put the right pieces in place so that they can, again, focus on the things that they do best, but also get away from your business occasionally and go on vacation and spend time with your family and live life at the same time. So it is important. It helps out in all aspects of their life to have that team in place.
So you guys, just so far, I think you understand the value of Chris and what he's trying to put across, for small business owners, but you're also just a human being that probably has a family as well. You're not just the business owner. And so when we come back, we're going to take a little break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we couldn't do the show. And but when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit more about how Chris can help small business owners, no matter what phase you're in, like if you're in startup, or if you're currently just running a business, or if you want to talk about retirement. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. But I do want to do a little shout out extra, because Chris, as you probably know if you've been watching my podcast this season, they are a sponsor. So I'm very, I'm just very excited that you said yes to us when I reached out to ask for your sponsorship, because it is crucial to me. The reason why I was very selective of who I reached out to ask to be a sponsor for the show. I literally had a list of 3 people. Chris was one of them. My first one, actually, I called and you said yes to. The reason why I wanted him to be a sponsor, because I don't want just random sponsors of the show. I want them to make sense to my audience. And what he does and what Prosperitas Financial offers is crucial to who we are. And I plugged him in here on purpose, because I really feel that a lot of us, and myself included, don't utilize somebody like him. We're not planning for the future. We're just in the here and now and trying to make today work. And we really need somebody like you in our lives. So thank you for being a sponsor.
Our pleasure.
Watch his commercial. It's coming up next, probably. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about how you can help small business owners. We'll be right back.
Yep.
How can I design something that's even bigger and better for my clients? With that question, I started exploring all these different avenues of what I thought clients really wanted from their financial advisor, and started putting the pieces in place in order to make that happen. My name's Chris Ingram, and I'm the CEO and founder of Prosperitas Financial. What we're designing is something that truly isn't being done at the moment, where somebody has every piece lined up to make sure that we're advising in all aspects of somebody's financial life. We're making sure that wealth management is just a piece of it, but if we tie it all together, we're going to be more successful at helping the client reach their goals versus helping them have really good returns in the market. We're just doing a much more comprehensive style of wealth management.
At Prosperitas Financial, our planning process focuses on what's most important to you, identifying your goals for the future and addressing any obstacles standing in your way. If you're ready for your comprehensive financial plan, call Brooke Coffee at 661-255-9555, extension 120, or visit us online at prosperitasfin.com to schedule a complimentary consultation with our financial planning team.
Welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. I am sitting here with not only a friend, but also my financial advisor, Chris Ingram. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate, you, as I say, and also as one of our sponsors. You probably just saw a commercial from him right now.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If we're doing our jobs, right? All right. So, Chris, let's talk about, regardless of what phase you're in as a small business owner, how can you and your services help a small business owner, whether they're in the startup phase, whether they're in the existing business phase, or whether they're in the retirement phase, or maybe they should be thinking about that.
Right.
How can what your services do help them?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different clients come to us in a lot of different stages. So obviously, one that comes to us a lot is, I think I want to start a business. What does that look like? And so if someone's in that startup phase, they don't have a business yet, but they want to move that direction, we would start helping them lay the groundwork. Okay, so what are the things they need to think about? What type of entity should they form? What are the legal aspects that they need to take into account? How are they planning on funding that business? Are they going to go get loans? Are they going to form a partnership? And what does all of that look like? From that point, do they have financial projections? And if they don't, helping them create financial projections. What are the goals? What are we trying to accomplish?
Which is part of a business plan.
Should be. So we're kind of, in a way, we're kind of assisting them with the structure of their business plan. Hopefully they have their mission statement. Hopefully they understand.
If you don't, I can help you.
Yeah, exactly. What is the product they're trying to sell? What is the market that they're looking? But when it comes to, okay, so now we know what we're trying to sell, who we're trying to sell it to, what kind of marketing we might do to try and get our product out there, all things that you help with.
Yeah.
What does that look like financially? And so how do we get the business started? What are the funds that we need to get started? And then what do the financials look like going forward? And is this business viable? I mean, I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, I got this business idea, I want to start a business. And we start putting some numbers on paper and I go, okay, so you're never going to make any money.
Doesn't look good.
Does it? I hope you really like this business because you're going to be in it, working it.
It's actually a hobby at that point.
100%.
Yeah.
So understanding that and making sure that they have a sound business plan and this business is viable is very important. And then diving into some of the details of that and kind of going back to, hey, maybe you should talk to Amanda because how are you planning to reach out to your customers and your clients?
But let's pause on that. So like if you're in the startup phase, this is also where you want to start. So I've been approached a few times about asking people, people have asked me to help them put together their business plan and because they're trying to get secure financing and I don't do projections. That's not my thing. So you guys, that is part of your business plan. So if you're in the startup phase, yes, I can help you. And there's other people that can help you with a lot of like your mission statements, your logo, all that stuff, your photography, your marketing, but the financial projections, which are crucial to your business when you're starting up, this is somebody who you'd want to reach out to, right? Like don't just think about your CPA. You need to think about somebody that actually can help you with that. And you already have all that. So, okay, so that's the startup phase.
Right.
So what about if you're an existing business owner?
Well, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. So, and maybe it's that medium phase. So their startup phase, we decide, hey, business is viable.
Right.
We want to start this business. You also got to think about one of the problems I see business owners run into financially over time is books and records and accounting and keeping everything clean. So we also want to dive into making sure they understand, setting up the business checking account and having your personal checking account and the business credit card, and making sure that they've got some kind of a tracking system in place so that their books and records are clean from day one, so that their accountant will love us later on when they go to give them the information, because it's all organized and easy to understand. And so making sure they're putting those pieces together from day one make their life a lot easier in the long run. So I'm one of those people, like, set it up right from the beginning and your life's going to be a lot easier. But I'm sure you've seen it a lot. Business owners they love their idea. They are passionate about what it is that they want to do, but they don't understand all these pieces that need to be put into place. And it isn't until about the time they do that first tax return,
they're drowning in it.
And they don't know what's going on. Their accountant is mad at them because they have no records, and
they blame the accountant.
It spirals.
I've seen that.
Spirals out of control. So we really want to help them set it up right from the beginning.
From the startup phase.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you get to the existing business owners, and so I'm dealing with a client right now. The client is basically saying, hey, I've got a very good business, makes very good money, but I want to expand. I want bigger. So it's that existing business owner that has new goals. Maybe it's an expansion, or it's adding a new service in, or whatever it may be. And so we'll sit down with them and say, where are you today, which is important, and what is it going to take to get to the next level? So again, that may be bringing in loans, or bringing in a partner,
investor, or somebody. Yeah.
And again, it goes back to financial projections. So what kind of an impact is this growth phase going to have on your existing business? Because we don't want to kill off the existing business and what's paying the bills in order to expand and then have it all blow up in your face. You've worked really hard for this part back here. We don't want the expansion to destroy everything you've worked for the last couple of decades to build. So understanding, what does the growth phase look like? What kind of an impact does it have on the existing business? And what do you need to put into place to be able to take on this next layer of responsibility, activity, all of that stuff?
Maybe employees, things like that.
Employees, exactly, 100%. And so we'll look at a business, and again, this is kind of in that same client that I'm dealing with, where the first thing we did is we went and looked at his existing business, and what we found is that the books and records were a mess. The accountant was awful.
And he's talking about growth.
He wants to grow. I'm going to start this, and I'm going to
Yeah.
expand over here, and I'm going to take on all of this. And I said, okay, so let's get litmus test. Like, where are we today?
Yeah.
And what we did is, the very first thing that we found out was that his accountant was awful, and the books and records for the last 3 to 5 years were a joke. And so first it was, okay, so stop. Let's clean up everything up to this point, get a new accountant in place that can help us going forward, and then let's focus on what the next phase is. But we got to take care of the issues that are inside of the existing business first before we go into expansion
So
mode.
I'm going to pause you on that right there, because I think there's something crucial in what you just said. You guys, I've talked about this before, that you can be in a phase of your business where you outgrow your professional advisors, right?
It happens.
I have a few years ago, I outgrew my CPA that I've had since I owned my flower shop. Okay, that's how long I've had the same CPA. I even went through a divorce. We shared him. It was, it was smart for us at the time. But as my business grew and I took on other income opportunities, I just felt like there kept being mistakes. I was paying for them. And it was a hard realization that it was time for me to move on to another CPA firm that can help me with where I want to go. And then he actually reiterated that to me. Chris, you helped me make that discovery. You and somebody else that I know, like, I remember crying about it. Like, why am I still in this situation where, anyways, I just felt like that was such a crucial point you just made. Realizing how you came in and helped evaluate this guy's business and realized his CPA, and this is just, I'm not picking on CPAs, I'm just saying that was one of the things. I can relate to that. And you guys helped him uncover that, and then what that did for him probably in the long term. That's one of the reasons why speaking to a financial advisor is so crucial to your business. And that's just one example, you guys. Okay, so keep going. I just wanted to pinpoint that because I thought it was really a good point.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, I mean, that's one of the biggest things we do with an existing client. And we're going to talk about some 10 mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
So I'll go into some of those mistakes
Okay.
too that we uncover in that exploratory phase of where are they currently. because that happens a lot too, is you realize that there aren't legal documents in place, the entity was not set up properly.
Which you need as you go to retire or maybe sell the business or
hey, you're going to expand and you've got this partnership that is not
solid.
The contracts aren't in place, there's nothing protecting each of you. So trying to uncover all of what is currently wrong with the business and clean it up to help them be able to either manage the existing business better going forward or now be able to grow again and expand and do all the things that you need to do. So that's a large part of that existing business. Support that we give. And
then how, just quickly, like how can you help somebody like plan for retirement or even succession with their business or like what kind of services do you help with that as well?
So
I don't think a lot of people think about this.
Yeah, which is a problem. So I'm dealing with another client right now. Perfect example. It's not. No, it's not you. No. So first of all, this client is awesome because it's really amazing. His father started the business.
Okay.
The business passed to him and his brother. And now he's passing the business on to his 3 children.
Okay.
It's very rare that a business is going to go that many generations. It's really unheard of.
Actually, too, right?
Unheard of.
Right.
But one of the things we're doing with my client right now is we're talking about, okay, so in his situation, it's passed the business on to the next generation, which a client may be in a different situation where they actually want to sell the business. So we will help them figure out, how to get a business valuation, who you're going to sell it to, what is that going to look like.
So that's good for me to know because I've been asked a few times for businesses, they want a connection for a business evaluation. And so that's good for me to know that I can reach out to you for that because I've had to like find and search and stuff and I'm not sure that my client actually got what they were looking for.
Right.
So that's good for me to know.
And a true business value. I mean, if you're really serious about selling it, you need a true business valuation that you can show to people that
well, it helps you also map out maybe, okay, I'm not ready yet, so maybe in another 3 years it'll get to be where I needed to go.
Yeah, if you get the valuation back and it says your business is worth $2, you might have to work a little harder to make it 4. To actually want to sell it. So it's good to get an idea of, okay, so what is my business currently worth?
Yes.
Because I've asked business owners that, hey, what do you think your business is worth? And they have no clue. No clue. So that's the selling side. So back to my client, his situation though is he wants this to go to the next generation. So we're talking about how to structure that, how to position the business properly, him getting paid, bought out, whatever it may be.
For his retirement.
The tax efficiency of going from one generation to the next in a buyout structure like that. How is that going to look? And how are the kids going to then take over the business and what does it look like going forward?
There's 3 of them,
Then I've already started talking to the boys and saying, they have like 8 children.
Oh, geez.
This business is not going another generation. Realistically, it's not going to make it. This is the final generation of this business. So even though they're just now starting to take over the business, we're already planning for what is your exit strategy? Is it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? How long do you guys want to run this business before you guys sell the business and move on? Their retirement strategy is very different than their dad's.
And what do you want to give to those 8 children?
Exactly. So already, even though it may be 15, 20 years off into the future, gauging from them and getting them all on the same page of, hey, this is our goal for the business going forward and what should we be doing today in order to position that properly. So thinking about it, because it takes planning and thought to get there. And we just want people to think about it earlier because people typically wait till the last second.
That's the key. So I love everything that you just said. I really hope that you guys were kind of maybe taking some notes. If not, go back and rewind because there's a few key things in there that he said that I really want you as small business owners to really think about, maybe even going back, maybe you thought about them and you have plans in action, you have some things that you've maybe mapped out, but go back and look and maybe take another glance at them and see if they're actually current and valuable today as they were when you set them up. And if you haven't set them up, I highly recommend you reaching out to Chris or to whoever your professional is and really dive in on those things because at some point you do need to map out what the business looks like without you. Right? At some point, whether that you're closing it, whether you're selling it, whether you're handing it down, whatever that looks like. So thank you for that part. I think that was really helpful.
Very welcome.
So when we come back, we're going to pause and hear from our sponsors, because again, without them, I couldn't do this show. I'm incredibly indebted to them, and he's one of them. But without them, we couldn't continue to do this show, I should say. So we're going to hear from them. But when we come back, we are going to talk about what I think is going to be fun, which is our 10 most common mistakes that small business owners make in this world. And I know you've got a lot of feedback
Only
on
10?
it.
I
Well,
mean,
we're going to talk
there's-
about the most common ones. We'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Marlene Villa. I own Villa Promotionals. I help companies promote themselves through the use of promotional products. You want to put something out there so that you can be remembered. That name and that retention lasts so much longer on a product that client's going to use and value than just a handshake or a business card. I started Villa Promotionals so that I could help companies increase their volume and retain their clients. Many of the businesses I find that we work extremely well with are municipalities, hospitals, colleges, and a lot of our larger clients will be ordering 1,000 to 5,000 items. However, they're going to maybe just need one tablecloth, or they're going to need that one award. Well, we also tailor to that. We actually take the time to make sure that that product is the one that's going to match your business and the goals that you're trying to achieve. We have great communication with our clients every step of the way. They don't have to just hope that it's going to show up that day. We're going to let them know when it's shipped and when it's supposed to be delivered. If you're looking for quality products and customer care for your business, call 661-254-4910 or email us at viapromos@yahoo.com and visit our website at viapromos.com.
Hi, welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. I'm sitting here with Chris Ingram, owner and CEO of Prosperitas Financial, and we are going to dive in on the 10 most common mistakes small business owners make. So we were going back and forth on this list. Like, I had kind of a list, and you just nailed every one of them. You made it better. So because it's from a financial standpoint, you know, sort of, it kind of helps your business set up. I had different lists that we all make as small business owners, or mistakes, but let's talk about, from your perspective, what are 10 most common mistakes small business owners make?
Yeah, so I had 152, and I dropped it down to 10 since you wanted only 10.
Well, it's all the time we have. It's Lindsay's fault.
I get it.
If I had more time, I would.
I get it. Yeah. So
Yeah, you are.
So probably the 10 most common. So let's start with number one. If you were listening to the previous segment or two, I talked about a client that is having some problems with an accountant, and it all started with really sloppy records. And so it's just, it spills over.
What do you mean by that?
So sloppy records can be a lot of different things. So number one is, and we talked about it briefly, is just from the legal side. So if you're a business owner and if you're having employee reviews and you're not taking notes on that.
Documenting everything.
Yeah, so you really need to, client engagement, when you're meeting with a client, making notes of what you guys discussed and what the plans are for the future, or even just the notes from the standpoint that you engaged your staff in understanding what the vision is and where you guys are going and what you expect from them.
And what's the next steps. Yeah,
100%.
So like, that's crucial, like documenting all these conversations, taking notes. If you guys don't have a system in place that you actually can do that with, even if it's a CRM, or even if it's, like that you've touched your clients, like, you need to do that. And we can talk about that. But so sloppy records just from that, but also on the bookkeeping side of things.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I hear, partners got together, they had a meeting, they set some goals, they decided they were going to do this document and that, and then time goes by and everyone's like, well, who did we do that? Or who was supposed to be in charge of that? Did you do? If there's no records, nothing saying who was in charge, and making sure you can go back and say, hey, we said yes, but you were going to take that and you didn't do it, so let's get that done. So that's more on that side. Then there's the financial side. So I talked about it a little bit before. Having a software, some form of tracking the business and the financials, and making sure you're keeping clean records so that it's easy on your accountant, it's easy on you to understand where every dime is, where is it going, what was it spent on. I talked to, end of the year just happened, and so I was talking to our partners and saying, okay, at the end of the year I go through and I look at all of, just like personal finances to some degree, all of the expenses that we have generated as recurring expenses in the business. Because like anything else, you find after a while, you go back and look at it and you've got these weird subscriptions you signed up for and you're like, I don't even look at that anymore. Why is that an expense? If you're not tracking everything and able to keep tabs on everything that goes on, you start missing you start hemorrhaging money, you start not knowing where things are going. So you really should have a way of not only tracking it, but staying on top of it.
And pull reports from it. Like for my business, I use 17 Hats, which is super easy for the Ask Amanda side. For the gym that I run, we use ABC Financial. It can track everything. For the property management side, we use Yardi. It's like there's a system somewhere for your business, I guarantee it.
Yep.
And if you don't know, just start Googling or YouTube or call us, or like, I'm sure you could recommend a couple of easy like bookkeeping systems that our CPAs love, you know, but so sloppy records is huge. I don't want to spend too much time on number one, but we could have a whole segment on it.
Yeah, we'll go to number two.
Number two.
Mixing business and personal finances.
Crucial.
I can't tell you.
Just talk about the credit cards. Like,
I can't tell you, it's so hard, especially with sole proprietors, because they typically have a hard time defining or creating a line between what is my personal checking account and my business checking account. A lot of times they even have the same name, and so stuff gets mixed in, and before you know it, you're like paying for your elementary school expenses or preschool expenses out of the business, and you don't
keep it separate.
You got to keep it separate. Keep separate accounts. Keep it all separate. Make sure that you're keeping it clean. That's a very, very important one.
So number 3, sitting on cash.
Sitting on cash. This is a huge one. So a lot of business owners, as they should, have extra cash for emergencies or expansion or whatever it may be. The problem that I find a lot is they don't even know that they can, to some degree, is, you know, they'll come to me and say, I have $500,000 sitting in the bank doing nothing.
Just in case. Right.
You can invest that. It doesn't have to.
That you still have access to it.
For sure.
Right.
You set up a corporate account just like any other investment account, brokerage account, whatever it may be. It's in the name of your business, and that money can be put to work for you. And maybe if it's potentially for an emergency or short-term needs, you don't want to invest it all in tech stocks. But you want to put it in something that's getting you more than what it's getting just sitting in the bank doing absolutely nothing. But to your point, making sure that it's liquid, available, and you're not tying it up to the point where you can't get it in case of an emergency.
So this ties into number 4, I think, taking advantage of leverage. Or not taking advantage of leverage.
Yeah, so not taking advantage of leverage is, especially in today's environment, with interest rates as low as they are, watching people not expand or not move to the next level or trying to come up with their own money when they could go borrow it.
Right.
And there's some people have different opinions on this because I hate debt. I don't like it, but when you give me debt at 3% per year, I kind of love that. I kind of love that. Because I can make that money earn way more than the interest it's going to cost me to get that debt.
Right.
And so taking advantage of leverage and being willing, maybe it comes with having a financial advisor that can help guide you so you don't make a mistake.
Well, it does for sure.
But using and taking advantage of that leverage right now is more important than ever.
So number 5, not having financial projections for the future. So this is one of the things, I want to just touch base really quick is a business plan isn't just meant for your startup. A business plan is actually a working document for your business that you should be looking at no less than once a year. Is your mission still the same? Are your employees still the same? Are your financial projections still the same? So that's what I have to say about that. But I think that's a common mistake.
No, it is something we preach even on the personal financial planning side, is that financial planning it's a living, breathing document that you need to be on top of all the time. It's always evolving. It's always changing. You need to be updating it, understanding it, making sure it's current. And those financial projections are important. Most people have no clue. They're just flying by the seat of their pants. They're doing business every day and they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, wearing too many hats. And they have no idea if hiring that person is going to make them more money or less money. If they invest in this marketing, is it going to make them more money? Or they need to be able to put the numbers on paper and understand what they're doing and how it's going to affect the future growth or profitability of the business. And if you don't have projections to start with,
guidance,
you have nothing to work off of and be able to see what your goals are. So
that's a huge one. And then number 6 is a poorly managed retirement plan, or Or maybe not a retirement plan at all. That's like 2 in 1.
Sometimes not a retirement plan at all is almost better than a poorly managed retirement plan, because
Right.
poorly managed retirement plans happen all the time and they are a mess. And what happens is business owners go, I want a retirement plan, and they find a financial advisor or somebody that goes, yeah, we'll set it up for you. And they set it up rapidly. Nobody knows what their responsibilities
Nobody's
are.
looked at it since.
They spiral
Right.
out of control, and the next thing you know, you've got penalties and and they become a huge headache. So if you're going to have a retirement plan in your business, you have to make sure the people in your organization understand whose responsibility is it for this task or that task,
And when
and
you
make
get
sure
a
it's
new
run
employee,
properly.
right? Like there's a lot around
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And advisors, we don't know if you hire somebody or
Right.
terminate somebody. So there's a
Yeah.
lot that goes on internally at the company
That can
to
be
run
costly.
the plan.
Yeah, that
And
can be
it-
costly though if you're not on top of it.
100%. If you were supposed to include somebody and you didn't, and later down the road you find out, well, they should have been included and they
Yeah.
they
Well,
lost
and now-
opportunity, that could be costly.
Yeah, and now California has a law that you kind of have to, like that's a whole other podcast, but
Yeah.
but that is something. So your retirement plan needs to be looked at for sure.
Yep.
Not just for you, but for your business as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 7, insurance risk management. I think
Another one. I mean, I'm sorry, I just keep
No,
rolling
I
my
know,
eyes
I
and
know.
face palming myself to death over here. But risk mitigation. So buy-sell agreements, key man policies, disability insurance. A lot of this business owners don't have this in place. So they have a buy-sell agreement that was never executed, and there's no insurance protecting the partners in the
Right.
buy-sell agreement, or
that's crucial.
it's huge.
Yeah.
And we were joking earlier, you know, I would love to see the percentage. It's got to be single digit % of buy-sell agreements that are actually official and have insurance behind them, and so
That are
on
done
and so
properly.
forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Disability insurance. You've got all these business owners running around that if they got disabled tomorrow, and disabled doesn't mean I got in a car accident and I
Right.
can't walk. It's I have cancer, I can't go to work.
I need
Something
time
has
off,
happened.
Something's happened. Yeah.
And there's no income anymore if you're not at the business. And so that if without a disability insurance policy, you're at risk and your family's at risk, or business operating expenses, insurance policy that's there to keep the business alive and pay the expenses of the business if something were to happen to you, to make sure that when you return from whatever it was, that your business is still standing and that you can go back into it and be able to continue
Even from a
working it.
payroll standpoint too, like if the number of employees has changed, you need to revisit your insurance policy, because that could make a big difference for you as well. So
Right.
and there's a lot there on the
ton
insurance.
there.
So I understand the eye roll.
Yeah.
Okay, and I support it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so number 8, not having a financial planning team in place. A lot of small business owners, I'm going to be honest with you, we just don't, and we haven't. I mean, I do now, but in the beginning, it wasn't something, when I was starting up, it wasn't something I thought about.
Right.
Until, and I even knew you before I started. I just kind of was like trying to figure the rest of it out. So I want to push that, because I do, that's almost like tied with sloppy records at number 1. If you don't have a financial team in place, please either call Chris or whatever you decide to do, but I really want you to explore that, but then execute, make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are intimidated. They think their business
really
isn't
good
big
point.
enough. They're not at a stage where they need a financial planner.
Or they think it's going to cost them money. He's going to make me put money somewhere. I don't have that money yet.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And we look at it differently. Part of the reason we've created Prosperitas the way that we have is to give everybody the opportunity to come in and get some advice, so that you don't feel like you have to be, a $20 million a year business in order to be able to get some advice from somebody. We want to be able to help everybody and let people understand that you need help. Come get it. Talk to the right people.
So I'm tying that into number 9 that you said, which is like that people don't have a business coach or just have a coach in general. Yeah. But I mean, it's all encompassing. I think that is something that a lot of small business owners don't reach out to anybody outside of their expertise, to help them with a lot of these things that we've been talking about. That's why I feel like we could have a whole series about, I always feel like digital marketing and this financial planning, we could literally have our own podcasts about, because there's really so much there that is crucial to small business owners that we're just touching base on today. But
I go back to, from the business coach standpoint, you look at how many what do you want to call it? Like psychiatrists have somebody they work with also, and you have read some books on some of the biggest CEOs and business owners in the world. They're going to tell you about their coach that they work with.
Yep.
So if you think that you're above it and you know what's going on, you're wrong. I mean, the biggest and the brightest in this world have their coach that they're leaning on.
Yeah.
They're getting advice from, and I think people are missing the boat if they don't hire somebody like you.
You're right. Well, yes, but my dentist has a business coach to help him with the aspects of that business side of things. But yet he hires me. I mean, he's also my dentist, but he hires me to come in to help him with the marketing side. Like we all need a coach at some form of in our business. I just feel like, but this is a big one. I think it ties into the financial planning side of things. We don't know what we don't know, but they do.
Yep.
That's the biggest one. Okay, the last one, number 10. I'm totally guilty of this. When I had my flower shop, which I owned for 3 years, maybe towards the end I might have. I kind of don't remember, but I don't remember taking a paycheck. So number 10 is not paying yourself at all or not enough.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you talk to your accountant, he's going to talk about you have to pay yourself a reasonable wage.
Right,
so, but then I see other people that are almost paying themselves too much. They're almost tapping into the business to fund personal stuff and then putting it back.
And then the business is at a loss.
There's this balance between, those that pay themselves too much and they're feeding from the business and not letting the business be kind of mixing those personal and business finances. But those people that I was telling you as an example, a client that making, $250,000 a year and he's paying him $800 a month is his W-2 wages. That's not really
livable.
Yeah, it's not right. So better understanding the balance between those two and making sure you're doing it properly.
So again, this list could be a lot longer. These 10 common mistakes.
Sure,
but I hope that you guys found some value in that, because we didn't just list the mistakes, we gave you some solutions to, first of all, why we think that they're common mistakes, but also what you can kind of do around them so that you don't continue to make these mistakes if you are making them right now, which some of us are. It's how we're all normal. But Chris, I can't thank you enough. Like, this has been so helpful. We're not quite done, but when we come back, we're going to find out where you can contact Chris, because I'm sure you have some questions. And then we're going to flip the script and you're going to, do the whole Ask Amanda side of things where you get to ask me some questions, a little bit in the hot seat. I'm kind of nervous of the questions because you're such a serious guy sometimes.
I don't know. I got some real personal ones. No, I'm just kidding.
So we're going to hear from our sponsors right now. And when we come back, we are going to learn where we can connect with Chris. And then we're going to flip the script and ask Amanda some questions. We'll be right back.
As business owners and professionals, you have so much on your plate. You never stop to think about your headshots, marketing video, or personal branding until you need it now. Then you're scrambling to figure out what to wear, how to match your brand, what to say, how to reach your target audience, and how to use your visuals in a way that actually makes an impact in your marketing.
You quickly realize you don't have any of the answers because you're not supposed to. You're not a professional marketer, model, or TV personality. You're an executive who needs efficiency, superior quality, and a little direction. You also want to feel good when you step in front of the camera, and maybe even have a little bit of fun too.
Hi, this is Brian and Lindsay Schlick with Schlick Art Photography and Video. We provide professional headshots, marketing photography, business videos, video subscriptions, and more to help you market your business with compelling visuals and a streamlined experience. We guide you through the process every step of the way so you can feel your best on camera and make the biggest impact in your marketing.
Visit schlickart.com to see how we can help you take your brand to the next level and look good while doing it.
Welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. We are about to wrap things up here with Chris Ingram of Prosperitas Financial. We've had a great show.
Thank you.
We've had a really good show. Thank you.
No,
I mean, I feel like it was very informative.
Yeah, I do. And it was a blast. We had a really good time.
That's us. We'll tell everybody where they can connect with you because I'm sure they're going to have questions. So where can they find you?
Yeah, so first of all, our website is www.prosperitasfin.com to just check out everything that's going on. And then my phone number is 661-255-9555. That gets you to the office. But probably the easiest way to get a hold of me is cingram@prosperitasfin.com. That's my email address. Send me an email anytime with any questions you have. I'll get back to you.
And if you don't remember any of that, just ask me and I'll connect you because I know right where he's at.
That works too.
So Chris, I really genuinely want to thank you for being on the show. I truly hope that everybody got a lot of great takeaways and information. I think that you're a gem of a person.
Thank you.
I value you as a professional and as a friend, and I look forward to working together in the future. Obviously, this is not our last podcast, I'm sure.
The feeling is very mutual.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the moment where we get to flip the script. So where you get to ask Amanda. It is the Ask Amanda show. So what questions would you like to ask me? I don't know why I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. And I actually have this situation going on right now. So
Okay.
A client that's looking to start a new business, and they come to me, and I want to tell them why they need to get in touch with Amanda Benson to help them with that startup. What can you do, or what do you bring to the table that would help them with that startup
With
business?
their startup. So that's a great question. I would actually just start with a strategy session. So where we sit down and map out, the goal of the business. My specialty is marketing and branding. That's what I love to do. But I'm also like the idea girl. I can't even help myself when it comes to that. So like I would sit down with somebody and want to hear all the details of their business, why they want to start it, what do they plan to do with it, what's their passion behind it, who do they plan on touching and helping. And then I would, kind of map out where I think they should start and then what would be the next steps, like give them, I would call that a strategy meeting, like it's a strategy session. And I would leave them with action steps to like help them, like this is what I think you should do first. And then this is what I think you should do after you've completed that and like move forward with that. I think the other thing is the reason why it's good to connect with me if you're starting up a new business is because I'm very resourceful. Like what I'm kind of known for is it's like all my connections and my relationships with people like you, and I can pinpoint where I think who would be a good match for that person, and why they need to reach out to them. I think that would be a good. If you're starting up, I think that would be why you would reach out to me, why you would ask Amanda.
I love that. We talk about it a lot at Prosperitas. Same thing. So. And I mentioned it in one of the previous segments, and you just kind of reiterated it, is the power of a team. So you're going to be a resource to help people connect with other people that are going to be important to help them build their dream.
Yep.
But number two is a lot of what I deal with clients is setting that to-do list. What is the next step? One step at a time. And you, like you said, that strategy session leads into what is the next thing that they need to do, the next step they need to take. Piece by piece. How do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time.
Right,
so
right.
giving them those steps, I think, is important.
Yeah.
And they would be...
And it takes a team. I truly believe that.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. Excellent. Can I get another one?
You can have a few more.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
I'm not worn down yet.
Love it. So I've got actually two clients that fit this situation, and one of them is he has a day job, and he has a side hustle. Let's call it.
Okay.
He wants to get rid of the day job and expand and take his side hustle to the next level. And I've got another client that has a business. It's a very good business, but he's looking to expand it. So for the clients that are looking to take an existing business and say, hey, I want to go to the next level. I want to know what else is out there. What do you bring to the table? And I assume some of that strategy session also and all of those kinds of things, but maybe even from like a marketing standpoint, what are the things that you would help them kind of look at for the future of, now that I want to grow, what are the pieces that I need to put in place to attract more to this business and take it to the next level?
So that's a good question too, because I'm going to go right to a client I just met with last week who has a business that they have a family-owned business in the community, and he did like his own little, like a different version of it. I want to call it like the stepsister or something of that family's business, and it's very successful. And one of the he was a referral, and he reached out to me because he doesn't know he has all this. He like vomited all this growth and these ideas. So what I did to help him is I just helped him set some strategies. I gave him this accountability factor of like, okay, this is what I heard you wanted to do. I feel like we need to do this one first. And then I mapped out what that one idea looks like and what steps he needs to do and like what were those connections. I even gave them like names and phone numbers of like who he needed to connect to help him accomplish it. But it was really the accountability. So I said, once I know you have done these things, I'm then going to reach back out to you and I'm going to dive in on the next, because holding people accountable is really the only way that you can kind of grow if it's in the right, format, if you will. But so many of us have so many ideas that we don't know which ones to do first. And when you're in a growth phase, man, you're probably running at all cylinders. Like this guy is so excited just to talk to him. He's so excited. He's like, he's up here all the time. So then I'm already up there. So it's like very, there's like a lot of sparks flying around, but like I really have to help like dial him in because, when you take the conversation so many ways, you're going to lose sight of your vision.
Right.
And my job, what I love doing is help people being focused on their vision, achieving that before we go to the next one. And a lot of that is just like accountability coaching. So you said you were going to do this. So before we get to the next step, did you get this done? And if not, why? And it didn't work, why? And then we'll map out how to change that or discard it altogether. But I think when somebody's in a growth phase, I think they really don't know that they need an accountability coach in any way, whatever that looks like to them, whether it's with their financials, whether if it's with their employees, whether if it's with their personal, so that they can be more accountable and attentive to their growth. I just feel like accountability coach is crucial to that. And that's one of the aspects that I do.
Right. I love that. I think that's 100% true. I think a lot of people, we're always still children, right? We kind of need that parent to kind of force us to make sure we get the job done. And I think a lot of business owners, like you said, they want to grow, they want to do all these things, but they don't really want to sometimes put in the work and the things. So having a coach there saying, did you get this done before you move on to the next phase? And when you're excited, you just want to move to...
Totally.
You want to skip all this. I just want to get to the cash the check part.
Or retirement already. Or like, can we speed that up, please? Or like, or the growth phase of like, I can't wait to have multiple locations. Which is what this guy said, whoa, let's stop talking about multiple locations and let's clean this one up first.
Right.
So
like
that's...
we were talking about before. And legal documents and make sure you buy it right, and let's not buy a property or the business when we're not ready yet.
And you know what the other thing is like this is going to come across weird, but it's not like I don't care, because I do care, but that's why I will tell you the truth.
Right.
I don't care if I'm going to hurt your feelings. I mean, that's not my goal.
You don't have the emotional tie to it.
I'm not going to like really try. Yeah, like sometimes people need to hear the truth. And the truth sometimes is not all, rainbows and sunshine. So like, all that growth sounds good, but you've kind of got to mess here first, and let me tell you why that is. Here's what I've experienced so far.
Right.
And, sometimes those conversations are uncomfortable, but they're necessary.
100%.
Before growth.
I love it.
You get one more.
I get one more?
One more.
No, I'm just kidding. So you mentioned accountability. So would you say... my question was, what would you say is the single most important thing that a business coach brings to the table for a client? And is that accountability? And if accountability is the single most important thing, what's maybe number two that goes along with it? I mean, what are probably the two most important things that a coach brings to the table for a client?
I think perspective is probably the number one thing that a business coach, if you're being true, if you're a real honest person and you're authentic in who you are and what you have experienced in life, I think perspective is probably the most important thing a business coach can bring to the table. I think accountability would probably be second, if that's what somebody is looking for. But perspective is key because we have fresh eyes. We are not an employee of yours. We are not invested. We don't have a financial investment in your business, right? We don't have any ownership at all in your business. And what I always like to do if a business owner calls me to ask me to help them in some way and I haven't heard of them before, or I haven't done business with them before, I do business with them first. So before I say yes, and this is something unique to me maybe, I don't know if all business coaches or consultants will do this, but before I say yes to even a meeting, I will have in some way touched your business. so that it helps me understand a little bit more about who you are and so I bring in fresh eyes, like you might sit down with me and tell me all your dreams and goals, yet what I just experienced doesn't reflect any of that. So we need to have a different conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do think perspective is probably the number one thing, because we're just fresh eyes. We're not a part of your team. We can become part of your team, and I highly recommend that. But from a different perspective, I think, or from an outside looking in, that's the number one thing I think a good business coach can bring to the table.
Right. And like we said, hobby versus business.
Yeah, right.
I get that a lot. It's cute. That's so much fun, but it doesn't make any money, and it's not really a business. So sometimes people don't want to hear it, but they need to hear it.
They need to hear it. And like I just mentioned before, I don't, I come from a good place all the time. I always speak, I always speak from my heart, and I really do value somebody's time who reached out to me. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I would never take advantage of that. At no point do I think I know everything. I'm only as smart as all the connections and the people who I know, right, that can help people. I just feel like sometimes, when you own a business, your spouse, if they're involved, or your mom or your dad or your best friend, they're going to all tell you the fluffy things that you want to hear. I just don't do that. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Right.
And sometimes the truth is like, you suck at that part. So why are you trying so hard to be better at it? Let's just find somebody else that will do it. And that is an aha moment for some people.
Right.
You know why you keep failing at social media? Because you don't care about it. Okay, so let's stop trying to do that and be great at it. Like, I don't know. I just think like that's how perspective is like the best answer I could give you on what is, the number one thing a business coach has to offer.
Super important. I think people need somebody that's going to tell them like it is.
Yeah.
And business owners especially, but they need to hear some perspective.
Yeah.
Give them a real frame of reference for what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish, and if they're doing it right, or like you said, trying to take on too many things. So it's huge.
And actually, it's one of my favorite things to kind of talk about, because when you kind of put the tough conversations on the table, I love to see clients' reactions when there's a growth moment. Like, that's my favorite thing, when they kind of start to figure out, oh, I never thought of it like that. Mm-hmm. That really is kind of like I get the goosies thinking about it. It's one of my favorite things to do with people. So anyways, so that's all you get.
Love it. That's good enough for me.
No, thank you for those questions. Actually, they were really good, and they weren't too bad. I didn't feel too intimidated.
See?
Yeah, you're
scared for nothing.
All right. Yeah, scared for no reason. No, I'm just kidding. Chris, thank you so much for your time today. I know I keep saying that, but I just truly believe that whoever is listening or watching, or reading at some point, I really think that they have got some good takeaways from this. I hope people reach out to you in the end. And if anything, just to get some stuff cleaned up in their, business life, if you will.
Yeah.
Personal life as well, because they are entwined no matter how much we want to try to keep them separate. So the idea is, to do it the right way. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you having me on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a sponsor for this season.
You're welcome. Woo! You deserve it.
Well, thank you. You guys, this was a great show. This was a great season. I am wrapping up my season 2 of the Ask Amanda show with nobody better, I truly believe. Season 3 is going to be fun. I'm actually really excited to get started with it. So I hope that you guys keep following. Go watch. We've just completed 12 episodes. I can't believe we've done 12 episodes. Like, it's so great. But somehow I feel like it's still not enough. I've got more in me. So stay tuned for season 3. Keep following Ask Amanda. You could find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and of course my website, and all the places that we YouTube, and all the podcast places as well. So you guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. This is the end of season 2. Thank you for watching the Ask Amanda show.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do you have a topic you'd love to hear about? Or is there something you want to ask Amanda? Make sure to comment below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you get a notification whenever we post new videos.